Okay, so now we're going to talk about how to size the Kevlar. Sizing is simply putting a coat of varnish over the Kevlar because it's very fluffy. It likes to absorb whatever finishes you're trying to put on the boat. If you put the varnish onto the outside of the Dacron without sizing the Kevlar underneath, it'll suck the varnish right through that finish. And I've got a little red kayak up there in the rafters. When I built that one, I forgot to size the Kevlar when I was building it, and four coats of red paint later, you can still see the little pinholes where it sucked the paint through. So this is not a step you want to skip. So the way you put it on, you've got varnish. I use this spar urethane. It works extremely well, glove. And then I just use a small sponge of some sort. I like these air filters out of a lawnmower. You just cut off a small piece, something that you can use to put the varnish on. Doesn't have to be any particular shape, just a small piece like that. Glove, take your varnish, and you come over here to the boat and you dip it in and you just run it down, not like that. Dip it in, you just run it down through, dip it again, run the other side of the cross, dip it again, run the other side of the cross, just go down through. It takes about 20-25 minutes to do a whole boat. And if you notice right here, the heat and bond, we left the little piece of paper on top of the heat and bond. Those do come off, and you'll take them off in the next step. So they do come off, but for sizing, when you're sizing the Kevlar, you want to leave them on, and I'll show you why. So you size the Kevlar, and when you do that, the Kevlar will loosen up. You can see right now it's not too bad. It's fairly tight. When you put the sizing on there, it'll loosen up pretty substantially. So the way you get this Kevlar tight is after you've sized the whole boat, you come back around with your iron and you grab underneath here like that. You touch the iron and you pull it tight again and put your finger on there, and that'll pull it tight. So what happens is when you put the varnish on there, it loosens up, but when the varnish dries, it gets very, very tight. So I'll show you the difference. This one is pulled hand tight right here, and you can see, well, I just loosened it up here, but pulling it hand tight as I can get it, you can see it's pretty tight. The ones, these are like guitar strings. They're so tight at this point. So it'll shrink back up. And the tightness of the Kevlar here is what actually helps to give you the strength and integrity of your frame. Now after you're done with that, once everything is done, you let it dry overnight. And the frame, this one's been drying overnight, and you can see everything's nice and tight, except for these pieces we just put on. And at that point, you're going to be ready for skinning. The next step is skinning the boat, which we're getting ready to do on that one. And we will do that in another video.